Imagine standing at the edge of a vast canyon. On one side, there's you armed with your ambitions. Dreams so vivid, they light up your eyes like the stars above. Across this seemingly insurmountable gap, there lies the realization of those dreams. Yet between you and that fulfillment is a bridge called fear. This isn't just any story. It's the story of every person who has dared to dream. Let's talk about fear and ambition, and two powerful forces that reside within us. Often at odds, they are the fuel and the brakes in our journey through life. But here's a truth that might surprise you. Conquering fear isn't about silencing it forever. No, it's about mastering it, transforming it into the very energy that propels us toward our dreams. Have you ever felt fear gripping you so tightly that it seemed impossible to move? That heart-pounding, breath-stealing sensation? You're not alone. I've been there too. I remember standing before an audience, much like this one, for the first time. My heart was a wild drum in my chest. My hands trembled like leaves in a storm. Fear whispered in my ear, "You can't do this." But it was in that moment of choice that I learned a powerful lesson. I chose to speak, to move, to act despite the fear. And you know what? The earth didn't swallow me whole. In fact, with each word I spoke, the fear began to lose its grip. What is fear holding you back from? Is it starting that business you've always dreamed of? Is it stepping onto a stage to share your story? Or perhaps it's simply reaching out to make a new friend. Fear has many faces, but its power over you is only as strong as you allow it to be. Now think about your dreams. Those grand visions you hold for your life. Can you see them good? Now, how do we bridge the gap between fear and those dreams? It starts with a decision to act despite the fear. You see, mastering fear isn't about waiting for the day you wake up fearless. It's about choosing to take one step forward, then another, even when fear screams at you to stop. Let me share a secret with you. Every person you admire, every hero you've looked up to has felt fear. The difference: they acted anyway. They understood that on the other side of fear lies growth, learning, and the path to their dreams. They knew that fear, when harnessed, becomes the wind beneath their wings, lifting them higher than they ever imagined. So how do we begin? Let's start small. Remember, the mightiest rivers start with a single drop. Confront a fear that's been nagging at you, be it speaking up in a meeting or signing up for that class you've been putting off. Notice how, with each action you take, fear's voice becomes a little quieter, a little less convincing. Let's not forget, this is a journey we're all on together. Look around you. Each person here carries their own fears, their own dreams. Imagine what we could achieve, the heights we could reach, if we decided to face our fears together, to encourage one another, to share our victories and our lessons learned. I want you to remember this. Fear doesn't have to be the enemy. It can be the compass that guides us toward our deepest desires, the measure of what truly matters to us. So, let's choose to face our fears, not to eradicate them, but to master them and make them the fuel for our journey toward our dreams. Because, my friends, on the other side of fear lies the life we've always wanted, the person we were meant to be. Let's take that first step together, shall we? In the tapestry of life, and fear and dreams are interwoven threads, each giving the other its value and meaning. Picture fear on one side, dreams on the other, and you, my friends, are the weaver. The very essence of our existence dances between these two forces, shaping our destinies in ways we often cannot foresee. Let's take a moment to explore this duality. Have you ever noticed how your greatest dreams often bring about your deepest fears? It's as if they are two sides of the same coin, forever linked. Dreaming of starting your own business? Fear whispers a failure. Longing to share your art with the world, fear taunts with judgment. Yet it is precisely this interplay that makes life so rich and full of potential. Let's consider for a moment the story of a young woman, Sarah, who dreamed of becoming an author. Sarah's mind was a garden of stories, blooming with ideas. But whenever she neared the gate to share her work with the world, fear would chain the gate closed. What if they laugh at me? She'd think, what if my stories aren't good enough? Sarah's dreams and fears were locked in a dance, each step of ambition matched by a step of doubt. But here's where the magic lies. Sarah decided to waltz with her fear instead of letting it lead. She started small, sharing her stories with friends, then a writing group, and finally, the wider world. With each step, fear's grip loosened. Not because the fear vanished, but because Sarah's dreams grew stronger, brighter, and more resilient. And you know what? She did become an author, not in spite of her fears, but because of them. Her fears, once barriers, became the stepping stones to her greatest achievement. This, my friends, is the crux of our journey. Fear can indeed be a formidable barrier, but when we dare to face it, to understand its roots and its whispers, it transforms. It becomes a catalyst for growth, pushing us beyond the boundaries of what we believe possible. Fear is not the enemy. It is a teacher, a guide, signaling what truly matters to us. What dreams are you holding close to your heart, and what fears are holding you back from reaching them? Remember, the presence of fear alongside your dreams is a sign that you are on the cusp of something truly important, something worth fighting for. I recall another tale, that of a man named Tom. Tom was terrified of public speaking, yet his dream was to inspire youth through motivational talks. The very thought of standing in front of an audience would set his heart racing, his palms sweating, yet there was a flame within him that not even fear could extinguish. Tom took a bold step. He signed up for a public speaking course, facing his fear head-on. Each speech, each stumble, each triumph brought him closer to his dream. And today, Tom speaks to auditoriums filled with young minds, igniting in them the spark to pursue their own dreams. You see, the beauty of facing our fears is that it stretches the fabric of our being, allowing us to grow in ways we never imagined. Our dreams beckon us to leap, to reach, to soar, while our fears ask us to pause, to reflect, to learn. Together, they form the melody of our lives, a song of highs and lows, of trials and triumphs. So I invite you, my friends, to embrace this duality. Let your dreams shine brightly, if you fueled by the very fears that seek to dim their light. Remember Sarah's courage, Tom's resilience, and know that you too possess the strength to transcend your fears and achieve your dreams. In this dance of life, you hold the power to weave fear and dreams into a masterpiece of your own making. Let us step forward with courage, with hope, and with the unwavering belief that on the other side of fear lies the realization of our deepest dreams. Together, let's make that leap in the landscape of self-discovery. Understanding our fears is akin to mapping the unknown territories that lie within us. This journey begins with the cornerstone of self-awareness. Just as a sailor must know the seas to navigate through storms, we must know the depths of our fears to sail smoothly towards our dreams. Imagine for a moment that each fear is a whisper from the deepest parts of ourselves, a message encoded with the truths of our past experiences, doubts, and insecurities. To decode these messages, we must first listen, truly listen. The process is not about silencing these whispers, but about understanding their language, their origins, and what they signify about our beliefs and our perceptions of the world. Let me share a story about Michael, a friend of mine who feared abandonment more than anything else. This fear kept him from forming deep, meaningful relationships. He'd hover at the surface of connections, never diving deep. For the deeper you go, the harder it can be to surface, if you feel you're being left behind. It wasn't until Michael confronted this fear, understanding its roots in his childhood experiences, that he began to change his approach to relationships. He learned that acknowledging his fear was the first step to overcoming it. So how do we start this process of acknowledgement and understanding? One effective strategy is journaling. Considers a journal is not just a book. It's a mirror reflecting the contours of your mind, a map that shows where you've been and where you're hesitant to go. When you write down your fears, you externalize them, taking them out of the shadows of your mind and into the light of day. This act alone can reduce their power over you. What am I truly afraid of? Is it failure, rejection, or perhaps losing control? Write these fears down, but don't stop there. Probe deeper. Where did these fears originate? Can you recall an event or a series of events that might have planted these seeds of fear within you? Another reflective practice is meditation. While journaling engages the active mind, meditation invites silence, creating space for insights to arise naturally. Through meditation, you can observe your fears without judgment or attachment, seeing them as passing clouds in the vast sky of your consciousness. This detachment can offer you a new perspective, revealing that you are not your fears. You are the awareness that observes them. Visualizing your fears can also be a powerful tool. But picture yourself facing your fear in a safe, controlled environment. What's the worst that can happen? How would you respond? This mental rehearsal can prepare you to face the actual situation with more confidence and less anxiety. Michael, for instance, used visualization to imagine having deep conversations with friends, expressing his fear of abandonment, and to his surprise, being met with understanding and compassion. This practice gave him the courage to open up in real life, leading to deeper, more authentic connections. Remember, the goal here is not to eradicate fear, but to understand it. Understanding brings clarity, and clarity empowers us to take control. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The monsters we imagined under the bed are revealed to be just shadows, and with light, the fear of them dissipates. Let me leave you with this thought. Your fears are like knots in a rope that seem daunting to untangle. But with patience, with self-awareness, and with a willingness to confront them head-on, you can loosen these knots one by one. Journaling, reflective practices, and visualization are your tools in this endeavor, in this journey of understanding your fears. Remember, you're not alone. We're all navigating through our inner landscape, seeking to understand the whispers of our fears. By acknowledging and understanding them, we can transform these whispers into guides that lead us towards growth, towards our dreams, and ultimately, towards the fullest expression of ourselves. So take that journal and find that quiet space for meditation. Visualize not just your fears, but your victories over them, and embark on this journey of understanding. The path may be challenging, but the clarity and strength you'll gain on the way are invaluable. Your fears, once understood, can become the most unexpected allies in your quest for a life lived fully and fearlessly. In our journey through life, one of the most profound discoveries we make is that fear, that daunting force that often holds us back, can indeed be conquered. The pathway to overcoming fears is not inscribed in the sands of a single strategy, but is woven into the fabric of countless stories of resilience, determination, and insight. Today, I want to share with you a framework inspired by both historical figures and personal anecdotes that outlines a step-by-step approach to tackling your fears. Let's start with a simple truth. Every person you admire who has achieved something of significance has faced and conquered fear. They've shown us that the conquest of fear, while deeply personal, follows certain universal principles. First, it begins with recognition. You must acknowledge your fear. It's like the story of David and Goliath. Before David could confront Goliath, he had to acknowledge the giant's presence on the battlefield. Your fears are the Goliaths in your life. Recognizing them is the first step towards conquering them. Following recognition, we move to understanding. Consider the story of Eleanor Roosevelt, who once said, "You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face." Eleanor knew the power of understanding her fears. She didn't just glance at them. She stared them down, got to know their depth, their origins. Like Eleanor, you too can learn from this. Dive deep into your fears, not to invite them to stay, but to understand their nature, and in doing so, disarm them. Next is preparation, the bridge between understanding your fears and taking action against them. Abraham Lincoln once remarked, "Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe." Lincoln's wisdom and preparation is a beacon for us. Whether it's rehearsing for a public speech, planning a challenging project, or preparing for a difficult conversation, the time spent in preparation is invaluable. It equips you with confidence, and confidence is the antithesis of fear. Now, armed with recognition, understanding, and preparation, you're ready to face your fears through action. But here's where many falter, thinking that action must be a grand gesture, a leap across the canyon. Yet, it's the power of small, consistent actions that truly conquers fear. It's the daily discipline, the incremental steps that accumulate into a profound transformation. Think of it as a mosaic, each small stone placed with intention, creating a masterpiece over time. Amelia Earhart, the first female aviator to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean, famously said, "The most difficult thing is the decision to act. The rest is merely tenacity." Her life was a testament to the power of taking that first step. Despite the fear, and then persistently moving forward, action by action. Your actions against fear don't need to shake the earth. They just need to shake up your routine, challenge your comfort zone, and be consistent. But what about when we fail? Here lies the most crucial part of conquering fears. Embracing failure as part of the journey. Every attempt will not be a victory, but every attempt is a lesson. Thomas Edison's journey to inventing the light bulb was paved with failures, yet he saw each one, not as a defeat, but as a step closer to success. Edison knew that failure was merely feedback, an integral part of the process of overcoming obstacles and fears. So I ask you, what fears are holding you back? Is it fear of failure, fear of judgment, or perhaps fear of the unknown? Whatever it is, know that it can be conquered. The process is not easy. It requires courage, resilience, and the willingness to face your giants. But remember, giants do fall. Fear loses its power when confronted with the sharp axe of preparation, the steady hand of action, and the resilient spirit that rises from failure. As we navigate through this process, let's hold on to the mindset that our fears, as formidable as they may seem, are not invincible. They are but shadows, and shadows dissipate in the light of our courage, determination, and action. So, let us step forward with recognition, seek understanding, Sharpen our axes through preparation and embrace small, consistent actions. And when we stumble, let us see it not as the end, but as a momentary pause, a lesson to be learned, and a step towards our ultimate triumph. In your journey to conquer your fears, remember, you are not alone. Just as I stand here sharing these words, there are countless others, past and present, who have walked this path, faced their fears, and emerged stronger. Their stories are our guide, their wisdom our map, and their courage our inspiration. Let us move forward with the knowledge that on the other side of our fears lies not just our dreams, but a version of ourselves that is stronger, braver, and richer in spirit. The journey to conquering your fears and reaching your dreams is perhaps the most profound journey you will ever undertake. Embrace it with an open heart, the determined mind, and the unwavering belief that you, like so many before you, can and will emerge victorious. Together, let's take that first step, and then another, building momentum, courage, and confidence with each move we make against our fears. The path is laid out before us in this remarkable journey of life, where each one of us holds a lantern of dreams, lighting our path forward. Fear often emerges from the shadows, attempting to dim the glow of our aspirations. Yet it is in the very heart of this challenge that the most inspiring stories are born, stories of individuals who have not only faced their fears, but have transformed them into the very fuel that propelled them towards their dreams. Let me share with you the story of Lucas, a young man with a dream as vast as the sky, to become an astronaut. However, Lucas had a fear of heights, an irony not lost on him. Every time he looked up at the stars, instead of feeling inspired, he felt tethered by his fear. But Lucas chose to see this not as a barrier, but as a stepping stone. He began by climbing small hills, then mountains, each step upwards pushing against his fear. And with each summit reached, he not only came closer to the stars, but to realizing his dream. Lucas's journey teaches us a powerful lesson. When we choose to face our fears, step by step, they lose their power over us, transforming from towering walls into stepping stones. Consider for a moment Marie Curie, a woman who ventured into the male-dominated field of science, facing not just the challenges of her research in radioactivity, but societal fears and doubts. Yet she channeled the energy from those fears into her unwavering commitment to her work, becoming the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win in 2 different sciences. Marie's story is a testament to the incredible achievements that await us when we transform our fears into fuel for our passions. Now, how can we apply this transformation in our own lives? The first step is to shift our perspective, to see fear not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity for growth. Fear signals not our limits, but the beginning of our journey beyond them. One practical tip is to set small, achievable goals that directly confront your fears. If you fear public speaking, start by speaking to small groups, then gradually increase the audience size. With each speech, the energy from your fear begins to transform into confidence. Another strategy is to use visualization. Imagine yourself succeeding in the very situations that you fear. Sports psychologists use this technique with athletes, helping them to channel the adrenaline from their nerves into peak performance. Visualize your success vividly until the excitement begins to overshadow the fear. Moreover, surround yourself with stories of resilience and triumph. Just as fear can be contagious, so too can courage. Seek out books, podcasts, and films that showcase individuals overcoming their fears. Let their journeys inspire you, reminding you that you are capable of your own extraordinary story of transformation. Embrace mindfulness practices, such as meditation and deep breathing, to help rechannel the physical manifestations of fear. These practices can transform the anxious energy into a calm, focused determination, empowering you to take the necessary steps towards your dreams. And let's not forget the power of mentorship. Find someone who has walked the path you're on, someone who has faced and conquered similar fears. Their guidance, encouragement, and the mere fact of their achievement can be a beacon of hope, illuminating your path forward. In closing, remember that the journey of transforming fears into fuel for your dreams is not a solitary trek, but a shared voyage. We're all navigating through our fears, seeking to reach the shores of our dreams. Let's support one another, share our stories of struggle and triumph, and celebrate each step taken in courage. As you leave here today, carry with you the stories of Lucas, Marie Curie, and countless others who have turned their fears into the very steps they climbed to reach their dreams. Let their stories remind you that your fears, too, hold the potential to be transformed into the fuel that propels you towards your dreams. So look your fears in the eye, recognize them for what they are, and then with a deep breath and a steady heart, step forward. Transform the energy from your fears into a relentless drive towards your dreams. Remember, on the other side of fear lies not just your dreams realized, but a version of yourself you've yet to discover. It's in the vast expanse of our journey through life. Each of us holds a torch that illuminates our path, casts shadows on our fears, and reflects the dreams we dare to chase. This torch, my friends, is the conqueror's mindset, a beacon that guides us through the darkest nights and the stormiest seas. Today, I stand before you to share the essence of cultivating such a mindset, a transformation that begins within the recesses of our minds and spirits. The journey starts with a mental shift. A Mapalera movement that allows us to lift our gaze from the immediacy of our fears to the horizon where our dreams await. Imagine for a moment a mountain climber faced with the daunting ascent before them. If they were to focus solely on the treacherous path at their feet, the fear might overwhelm them. But it's the vision of the summit, the dream that lies beyond the immediate obstacles, that propels them forward. Similarly, we must learn to elevate our focus, to see beyond the hurdles of today, and keep our eyes fixed on the grandeur of our aspirations. Building resilience is akin to forging steel. It requires both the fire of adversity and the cooling waters of recovery. It's in this interplay of challenge and recuperation that strength is born. Resilience doesn't mean an absence of fear or failure. Rather, it's a steadfast determination to rise each time we fall, to learn from the bruises and the breaks. Remember, the oak tree grows strong in contrary winds, and it's the storms of life that teach us how to stand firm. Embracing uncertainty is another cornerstone in cultivating a conqueror's mindset. Life, in its infinite wisdom, seldom follows a straight path. It twists, it turns, and often it leads us into uncharted territories. Here lies the beauty of existence. Not in the predictability of events, but in the surprises that spur growth. Uncertainty is not an enemy to be vanquished, but a companion on our journey, reminding us that flexibility, adaptability, and openness are the traits of true conquerors. The power of positive thinking cannot be overstated. Our thoughts shape our perceptions or actions and ultimately our realities. By nurturing a garden of positive thoughts, we cultivate a landscape where dreams can flourish. Let's consider the difference between thinking I might fail versus I will learn. The former is a seed of doubt, while the latter is a promise of growth. Positive thinking is not about ignoring life's challenges, but about facing them with a mindset that every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. To reinforce this conqueror's mindset, there are daily habits and practices we can adopt. Meditation, for instance, is a profound tool for clarity and focus. It allows us to silence the cacophony of the world and tune into the harmony within, to find peace amidst turmoil and strength within vulnerability. Just as a river carves through rock not by force, but by persistence, so too does the practice of meditation gradually shape our minds into vessels of resilience and clarity. Affirmations are another powerful practice. These are not mere words, but declarations of our inner truth, reminders of our strength, our worth, and our capability to overcome. Speak them aloud. Write them down. Let them be the first thoughts when dawn breaks, and the last whispers before night falls. Affirmations like I am capable, I am resilient, and I embrace each challenge as an opportunity are lighthouses guiding us through the fog of doubt. This continuous learning is the fuel that keeps the torch of the conqueror's mindset alight. It keeps us curious, engaged, and ever expanding our horizons. Every book we read, every skill we acquire, as we stand at the precipice of our own fears, looking into the abyss that separates us from our dreams, I am here to tell you that this chasm, however vast it may seem, is but a step in the journey of our lives. Today, I urge each one of you, as individuals fueled by dreams, ambitions, and the boundless potential that resides within, to take that crucial step forward. Let us make a commitment here and now. We take one action step that will move us closer to conquering a fear and advancing toward our dream. It could be as simple as speaking up in a meeting, signing up for a class you've always wanted to take, or reaching out to someone who inspires you. This single step, though it may seem small, is a declaration of your intent to live beyond fear. The journey of overcoming fears is not one to be walked alone. The significance of community, mentorship, and support systems cannot be overstated. It's like a tree that thrives in a forest, drawing strength from the network of life around it. We too grow stronger through the connections we forge with others. Seek out those who have walked the path before you, those who can guide, inspire, and when needed, lend you their strength. Remember, every mentor was once a mentee, every teacher once a student, and every conqueror of fear once its captive. In this shared journey, let us be each other's allies. Offer your support to those who falter, Lend your ear to those who need to speak their fears aloud and share your story to light the way for those who follow. For in the tapestry of human experience, it is our shared threads of courage, resilience, and mutual upliftment that create the most beautiful patterns. And so I call upon you to not just embrace your fears, but to see them as the catalysts for growth they truly are. Your fears are not the end of your story. They are the challenges that make your narrative compelling, the shadows that make the light of your achievements shine all the brighter. Do not allow fear to write your story. Instead, seize the pen and script a tale of courage, of overcoming, and of relentless pursuit of your dreams. As we part ways today, carry with you this message. The life you dream of lies on the other side of fear. The path may be fraught with challenges, but it is yours to walk, and you do not walk it alone. We are a community bound by our shared fears and our collective dreams. Together, let us step forward into the unknown, with the knowledge that each step we take is a step away from fear and toward the realization of our deepest aspirations. Let this moment, this gathering, be the spark that ignites a fire within you. A fire that burns brighter than any fear, a fire that lights your way as you journey towards your dreams. Today, let us commit to that first step, to living beyond fear, and to supporting one another as we forge paths of courage, determination, and unyielding pursuit of our dreams. It's the words of those who have walked this path before us. Let us remember, it is not in the absence of fear that we find courage, but in the decision to move forward despite it. So move forward, embrace your fears, transform them into fuel for your journey, and let us together step into a future defined by our dreams, not our fears.